Before we get into this game, I've done a little bit of research and I found out Neissat's run in this bracket. Okay, so he only won 3 games, Ryan, before dropping down to the losers bracket. He has gone 16 games unbeaten in this tournament. He's knocked out Oilito, he's knocked out Benny CR7, Lenny, Diogo Mendes, among lots of other names. If he wins this game, he'll have gone 17 losers bracket matches unbeaten. What a run to even get here, Ryan.
16 games, and not to mention the players that you've mentioned anyway that he's gone past. Diogo, who I think is so good as well, or Lolito, Benny CR7, the players that have even made it today, of course, to the top 6 in the broadcast. So it's not going to be easy, obviously. He's got a task where he has to beat Dullenmike twice, and nobody has beaten Dullenmike, so it's an uphill battle. But I just see Dullenmike, perhaps he could lose one set of games. Personally, I just can't see him losing 2.
And we're obviously going to digest this 5-3-2 that he's playing. I want your full analysis of it as the game goes on, what we're watching right now. But just on the basis of it, how sort of risky, I think the word is to say, is it to step out of the norm, to play not a 4-4-2 or a 4-2-3-1 and play a different formation? Because a big test was put on Dullenmike when he changed the formation, but he's backing it up with the results.
Yeah, exactly. And as you said, the results is the key here. It's sort of similar. I believe it was FIFA 19. I remember TAS. That year, everyone used 4-2-3-1 basically, just for the headers at the back post. And I remember TAS it was a 5 at the back. I can't remember which variation, but it was against the norm. But that sort of turned around his season because he started to perform a lot better.
He even played a 3-back
movement,
didn't he, at some
point?
Yeah,
3 and 5 back. Yeah, exactly. And it worked. And it goes to show, like, obviously, it's kind of easy to fall into the trap of copying what everybody else is doing. Most players use the 4-4-2. Some people use the 4-2-3-1 still. I don't think it's as effective as like in FIFA 20 or FIFA 19. It was almost the go-to, and also narrow formations as well. But the 5-3-2, again, I've seen it used a couple of times against other pros who have been using it. But the way Dullenmike's been using it as well throughout the tournament and just in other tournaments as well, it's been phenomenal.
I think it's going to be a tantalising game. You look at what Dullenmike's done, unbeaten throughout this entire bracket. Nobody really sort of getting close within touching distance. The independent cups that have been running as well, the Joey Cup in particular, he's been victorious in every single one. In the Club World Cup qualifying, he's been getting all the results needed for Neo. So he is the front runner right now on the Xbox. But Neissat has the momentum. You saw the reaction when he was scoring goals. He looks like a man in the perfect form of his life right now. What he's going to give in our grand final, qualifier number 2 in the EU region. It's going to be Dullenmike from left to right, representing Team Neo from EA SPORTS. This diamond in the rough, Neissat, 16 games unbeaten. Can he make it? Lucky number 17 from right to left. This is going to be a fascinating game.
Definitely, and it looks so hard to break down the 5-3-2 because he's got so many defenders there, and of course, if you can get even into a spot to bridge, like there's someone right behind him, so it's very difficult. It looks like to find space. But again, the one benefit of using 5 at the back, you have that centre back who you can actually just pull out, sort of like let's say if someone's using a 5-2-1-2, it's sort of like a narrow 4-1-2-1-2, but he's got the CDM that's placed in centre back, so he has sort of the license to drag him out and like intercept.
Yeah, absolutely. You saw that close control and dribbling on the edge of the box there from Neissat. He's just playing with such confidence in his ability, looking for the first time fake shot there, picking up a few things from previous opponents that he has faced as well with the first time fake shots. He's been watching all of the games. Dullenmike's had, about 2.5 hours off from his game where he was victorious against Optello in the winners bracket. Would you rather be the player having to force the reset coming from the losers bracket or have the luxury of the winners bracket advantage in this predicament, Ryan?
I'd say, of course, the winners bracket, just because you obviously have that confidence knowing that nobody's beaten you thus far in the tournament. However, you could come in a little bit cold just because obviously your opponent has just played 2 or 3 rounds before, so he's played a lot of games already to get to the stage, and he's obviously going to be a bit more warmer than you are. That's not to say that Dullenmike hasn't been probably playing or practicing off of stream anyway, but it's not the same, but there's still obviously ways that you can get practice in.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see if he is coming in cold. Loads of bodies behind the ball there. That 5-3-2 is just so hard to break down. You wonder, is there the attacking sort of options going forward? But it's in the left wing back and the right wing back area specifically. We've even seen Acuna get on the score sheet this evening, where they give you the width as you push up and out of that defensive shape. Patrick Vieira now moving forward with Dullenmike. Not too many options in front of him. Does play to Cristiano Ronaldo. That's a finesse shot into the top bins. Unconventional shot right there. I thought everyone assumed he was going to go across the goalkeeper, but just stuck it in the top corner.
That dribbling was beautiful. He sort of forced Neissat to like back off because he was scared to like lunge in case he could have even double tapped like a lofted pass over. He could have elastic hold. He could have done a bridge, but he was smart there. He cut in a little bit, was twisting and turning, and I think it was it looked like a finesse near post that went in, but it's still a goal. He wouldn't be complaining about that anyway.
And once again, Cristiano Ronaldo proving why he is the golden man when it comes to competitive FIFA. He just has to be in your team. You have to bite the bullet, whether it's an inform or potentially with new restrictions, a team of the year. Cristiano Ronaldo down the line, if the coin purse can stretch that far, he has to be in the squad. There's a few unconventional picks with team selection, defenders, midfielders, but I think all pros are sort of on the same wavelength that Ronaldo has to be in the team.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I played against someone who doesn't have him in like qualifiers and things, but it's a thing where he doesn't even necessarily have to be your main player, but he's just like having him as an outlet just for like if someone's pressing you in, if someone's using team press or constant pressure or whatever, so you can just spray the ball forward and you trust CR7 to win the header over pretty much anyone, because not a lot of people use Van Dijk, so there's not other centre backs that are going to be able to challenge him in the air. Varane occasionally, obviously he's slightly taller, but it's just Ronaldo in the air is dominant.
Speaking of Cristiano Ronaldo, looking to turn there, but pressed by Kyle Walker. CR7 looks to be in behind there. Zakaria does get something on it. You see the possession stat flash up in the top left corner. A third into this game, already completed. 39% of the ball going to Dullenmike. He's happy to soak up the pressure in this 5-back. Let the ball all be in front of him. There's nothing really in behind him. There's no runs being made in behind. As he looks to play R9 in there, but because of how he's playing, Ryan, he's already so deep that there's no space behind his defence.
Exactly, that's the thing. So it's hard to, obviously you can bridge on like just the edge of the box or just inside of the box anyway, but it's still hard because you're twisting and turning. But usually when it's just 4 players back there, it's still difficult, don't get it wrong, but now there's 5 plus the way Dullen's playing, he's got the 3 just in front. You pretty much have to make the right choice every single time, otherwise you're just going to get smothered and lose the ball.
It's another chance for Dullenmike, looking for the bridge touch there with CR7. Vieira squeezing the life out of Neissat right now. No space on the ball whatsoever for the Israeli to try and show some cracks in this 5-back. Bruno Fernandes linking up with Kessie. Interesting pick, road to the final, Kessie, because I know a few people really do value him, but he's not necessarily the centre mid that's on the tip of the tongue, right?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I've never ever come up against him. I've seen his card, he's got a great card. It's just a bit, who does he link with really? Of course he's on the Serie A, so he links to Ronaldo. I think that's mainly Theo Hernandez as well, really? But yeah, that's probably it. But obviously to get around it, you have to have icons as well. So I know a lot of people for the new restrictions as well might not be using the 2 icons. They might just be going with maybe 2 team of the years, an icon and a team of the year. And it's a mistake here actually that's led to Dullenmike.
Vieira snatching the ball back in midfield. Klosterman steps out and does well, and that will take us into half-time in our grand final. You could say a quarter of the game concluded. Not too much to show at half-time. Only that 1 goal for Dullenmike. That was the only shot registered in the first half of the first leg. The German leads 1 goal to 0. As we've got a little bit of time at half-time to talk about this, Ryan. 5-3-2. If you're playing against it, how do you get at it? We've talked about how defensively sound it is, but where are the gaps?
It's difficult because for personal experience anyway, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I played against an opponent in Club World Cup who used it, and it was difficult to play against in terms of just trying to break down the 5 at the back. However, I felt like I had more control over keeping possession in midfield. And the way Dullen's playing, it looks like that would be the opposite. But against, obviously, it's the way people play it. But I found myself having a lot of time on the edge of the box anyway. Obviously, there might not be enough space, but I had time to just bide my way and slowly work away at the defensive line. But you could, if you're really struggling against a formation, that's the one thing I would suggest to do, is to match it. Like, some people, obviously, it's a risk because you might not be used to it, or you might have even never used the formation before, but it does help.
Yeah, we often saw that. I know Agger was telling the story about the player that he'd never played before, he never matched him, and they just kept matching formation wherever he went. I remember a game as well, FIFA 19, I think it might have been, I know Fully was taking part in it, and someone played 3-5-2. I think Fully were playing 3-5-2, and every single opponent that he faced had to play 3-5-2 unless he
Oh no, that, yeah, no, that was FIFA 18. That was me actually. It was actually me.
Correct?
Yeah, Manchester. Yeah, FIFA 18. Yeah, that's a funny one because I remember me and Fully, we used to practice basically every day, and then of course it's very typical that we match each other, and then the only way to sort of nullify that formation was just to play against it. We would play the same thing.
Whipped into the back post. Great finish. That's what the 5-3-2 can give you. The out ball out wide. Whipped in for Cristiano Ronaldo, making space at the back post. Just having a look at that goal again. You saw how high and wide Cancelo was. Almost playing as a right winger when that ball got whipped into the box. Great use of not only players, selection, but mastering a formation we're seeing right here in front of us.
That's twice now in this tournament where he scored a goal very similar. I believe it could have been Acuna last time who whipped it in. But he's getting that space because of the fullbacks are bombing high up the pitch. And the run that CR7 makes there is perfect. And the driven cross, he utilises it to give him, it's basically a guaranteed goal when CR7's there on the volley right in front of the net. And 2-0, I'd say it's a fair result so far. There hasn't been too much. I believe that could honestly have been the second shot in the whole game so far, 60 minutes in. And we're yet to see the free-flowing, I guess, movement from Neissat and the way he's generating chances, or the way he did generate chances against previous opponents.
I think he's really struggling. You see it here. He's trying to build up. R9 with a chance. What about the keeper? Van der Sar rushes him out and does well. That was the chance to potentially spark a comeback in this first leg, but Van der Sar equal to it.
Yep, I thought he was going to hit that first time, but maybe he got caught in the mindset of maybe that's his first shot. Maybe Dullenmike's going to move the goalkeeper, and sometimes you overthink it. And then Dullenmike done really well there, though, in fairness, to bring out the goalkeeper, just to close the angle down. Because I think even if he bull rolled there, he was still too close to Van der Sar, and there was players already backtracking onto the line. So it sort of closed off that chance relatively easily.
Just having a look at the substitutions being brought onto the pitch there, it was Kessie brought off for the road to the final Alphonso Davies at left centre mid, and then foot freeze Adama Traore and Tavernier at fullbacks, I should say wing-backs, in the 5-back. So really goes to show the importance of the wide wing-backs, the left wing-back and the right wing-back, when they're the ones being substituted. Usually it'll be a striker or a wide cam or a centre mid. Both wing-backs brought on for fresh legs with 23 minutes left to play. Bruno Fernandes,
because they're
looking to build up.
They bomb. Sorry to interrupt you there. It's just that the fact that they bomb up and down the pitch, obviously they support defensively and offensively, so their stamina is going to drain even before the moment that he subbed them off there. So it's obviously smart. It gets into your opponent's mind where if you're having your opponent just basically subbed on fresh legs defensively, so it's like it's going to be even harder to try and break the defensive line.
Well, that's also typical, for example, in a 4-2-3-1. Typically, your left cam and your right cam will be the players substituted. They're the ones usually come back on defence, a little bit more defensive in their mindset, and they'd be the first players to get substituted. Ronaldo looking to get past Zakaria. Not on this occasion. The Bundesliga centre-back stroke CDM does well to nullify the threat.
15 minutes to go here. I would say, I don't know for Neissat personally what he's thinking, but maybe he could match it. But I don't know. It's risky because maybe he's just overthinking some attacks here, like with Ronaldo. That's beautiful.
That was absolutely beautiful from R9 Ronaldo. The ball roll scooped in. It took 75 minutes to see a sparkle from Neissat. And boy, what a goal that was. That's not only a big goal, but a big confidence builder because the way that you took it.
No, that was huge. He bided this time, as I said. Sometimes it looked like he was overthinking it, but he done well with the, as Mike spoke about anyway, the ball roll scoop, which is so effective in the box. Ronaldo buries it, and you see the celebration with the stern look on his face. But as you said, that will give him heaps of confidence.
Adama Traore up the other end for Dullenmike into Alphonso Davies. Just seems like we're seeing a fullback, wingback selection here across. There's about 4 different positions, all that have got defenders in them. Just goes to show the versatility of the fullback and the wingback. This year in FIFA, probably one of the strongest positions in the game, you would say, especially with the SBCs that come out as well, with Acuna. He's asking questions of his fullback right now. James Tavernier looking to steal the ball back off of Neymar. Varane does well. But so many fullbacks who can play different positions, whether it's a left mid or a right mid, even like a CDM or even a wide cam. They've got the stats to do it in that area. Chance, Pele, to make it 3-1. Instinctive from Dullenmike. Found the extra pass, and Pele was clinical in front of goal.
Definitely clinical. It comes off of an attack there from Neissat where he did make the wrong decision in hindsight, but it was beautifully worked from Dullenmike. I thought the defender could have intercepted it there, but it was unfortunate on Neissat's perspective anyway. And Dullenmike takes the 3-1 advantage. There's still 5 minutes left to play, but it's looking like if he wins the ball back, which he does now, he will definitely keep the ball for the last attack. Well, I suppose he would. But following on from what you said about fullbacks, I feel like they can genuinely play every position on the game. Like Tavernier, Alphonso Davies, they can play both sides. They can play in centre mid, like Alphonso Davies is such a good centre midfielder as well.
Chance here for Cristiano Ronaldo. We'll just go out for a corner. Potentially last chance of the game for Neissat. Whipped into the near post. Ronaldo somewhat gets a flick on it, and it will be another corner. This will be the final play of our first leg here. Whipped into the box. Bruno Fernandes into the back post. It's bouncing around the box. Tavernier does well, and that will do us for the first leg here in your grand final. You're listening to Richard Buckley and Ryan Pessoa, and it's Dullenmike with a 3-1 lead at the halfway point in this 5-3-2 formation. Neissat, it took him 77 minutes to sort of get the ball rolling, shall we say. Even though he is trailing 3-1, we've seen him score 7 goals in one game. We've seen him score 9 goals in another series. He does have the goal-scoring, attacking prowess to get back into this game, but I think he's going to have to maybe change something up formationally to try and get more bodies forward.
Yep, as you said, it's been a fantastic performance defensively from Dullen, but I'd say in terms of vintage Neissat from what we've seen so far in this tournament, it's been sort of like a level short than what he would expect to be at in the final, and that's more sort of credit to Dullen, the way he's nullified his attack, and he's sort of it's looking like it's almost impossible to get those chances what he was getting in previous games, because there's 5 defenders now, 3 centre backs instead of the previous 2, so it's like it's hard to find that space. But I feel like, as you said anyway, he might sort of think maybe he has to change something. He doesn't necessarily have to start with maybe a 5-3-2, but just have it in the artillery just in case.
Yeah, absolutely. And having those sort of tools in the toolbox, shall we say, having those weapons that you can rely on. He's playing a 5-3-2, but I'm sure he's capable of playing a 4-4-2 or a 4-3-3 or whatever it may be. You're playing against a 5-3-2. Is there a formation that you can instantly think of that could counter that? I'm thinking maybe a 3-5-2. Yeah. Your 3 defenders, you might be able to get your wide players up, and you've always got your cam and your 2 strikers high up the pitch to try and counter. Because really, a lot of the time, you're isolating those 3 centre-backs. If you can isolate those 3 centre-backs, even if it's a 4-3-3, just to try and get something in the final third.
Yeah, in all honesty, it's probably the best way, I say, is probably just to match it. However, in my opinion anyway, when you're playing against someone like Dullenmike, the way his fullbacks are bombing forward on the attack, the best way to kind of score against that is sort of to counter-attack and attack very quickly, because obviously the fullbacks are going to be high up the pitch. So if he loses the ball, you can try and transition as soon as possible before they have time to get back. And we also saw, as you mentioned, the sub around the 70th minute, because of the fullbacks, how their stamina depletes incredibly fast because of the work that they do on and off the ball. So if he's going to get chances, he needs to just try and speed the attack up a little bit more, which is sort of different to what he's done in previous games. Even though he was doing it when he was winning by large margins, it's tougher to do it when the game is against you.
Well, plenty to do here for Neissat in our second leg of the grand final, trailing 3-1, kicking from left to right in the blue and black strip. It'll be Dullenmike from right to left in the Neo kit, I believe. Big opportunity needed here for Neissat. Final point I want to make on the 5-3-2. The only reason it is so effective, you would say, Chancia for Acuna up the other end, goes for a scoop over the goalkeeper. That's confidence. That is confidence flowing right there. But the only reason that it is so effective for him, you would say, is due to the instructions he's got on it. Pele into Kessie. You would not believe that Kessie potentially is the goal scorer to put this game out of Neissat's reach.
Kessie again with a vital goal. It's not obviously the goal to put him in the lead, but it's sort of, as you said, it could put it out of reach. 4-1 against Dullen, who hasn't conceded a lot of goals so far in this tournament. It's going to be difficult, that's just to say at the least. And again, for Neissat, I kind of feel for him because it's very difficult to play against. It's like Dullenmike's defending so well, and he's pressing really well as well manually, so it's a credit to see.
Yeah, I think we've talked a lot about the formation, we've talked about why he's playing so good, but let's also not forget, he was a FUT Champs Cup winner. He's played in lots of different events. He was a grand finalist in FIFA 19, an EA World Cup grand finalist, that is. He's been an unbelievable player for a couple of years now. FIFA 20, he was there or thereabouts as well. Chance for Neissat, and Van der Sar just standing up to it. But Dullenmike, something just seems to be clicking with him right now.
Exactly, and as you see there with the goalkeeper, the way he brings them out, it's commendable. It's sort of similar to the way Mino does it. Of course, the way Mino, that's a brilliant bridge there as well to catch them off. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I don't know how he didn't get something on that at the back post.
I thought that was pretty much a guaranteed goal, but yeah, I was saying the way he moves his goalkeeper sort of makes your opponent panic. Like Neissat's panicking in those situations because he's bringing him out and he's also slightly moving him to either side. So it is messing around with his head a bit, and you can see he's gone team press as well. He's starting to drag players out, and he's got.
Could be game over.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Couple of chances being rude right now. He's giving a
penalty.
Bruno Fernandes over.
Oh my god!
12 yards out, slots it in the bottom left corner. I'm gonna have to try and watch. I think what happened, I've just seen it back actually on the Twitch stream. He's gone down the width, and as he's whipped the ball into the box, he's slid in with Zakaria to try and block it. Gosh, usually the referee will let it go, but because Ronaldo's not connected with the ball and it's not registered as a shot, the ball is still coming off the cross, I believe. So the referee has then said penalty for the follow through. Wow.
Yeah. That is great. I didn't see that. I'll be honest. I didn't see it, but fair enough. It was a well tucked away penalty as well from Bruno, who else? One of the best penalty takers in world football. And 5-1. This is, to me, it's pretty much a foregone conclusion.
Wow. Everything. We commentated a game a little bit earlier on today. It was between Musty and Neissat, and we said, Ryan, everything in the game is falling for Neissat. Karma comes around. It comes around in circles. And as that ball gets whipped into the back post, Dullenmike solidifies himself as the qualifier 2 number 1 player. Number 1 player in Europe, according to the Global Series ranking points. And also, his reputation is high and above everybody else right now.
Incredible performance. And something I noticed there when he was building up, he had his right wing back, which was sort of dragging his Neissat's left back to mark him. You can see it now as well, where it sort of pulls him out of position. So there's so much space between the full back and the centre back. And he sort of rotated the play, but then went straight back. So it's like a free through ball, whipped across, and again, Pele scores. But yeah, as I said, he's mastered this formation for sure.
Yeah, a true professional with the mastery of a formation. Also, you see the way that he's playing into the formation. What I mean by that is, there's no point playing a 4-3-3 if you're not going to look for crosses towards the back post on the R1s or R1Xs, or whipping it into the box for a striker. There's no point playing a 4-4-2 if you're not going to 1-2 pass between your strikers. He's got the formation and he has the play style to boot right now, and we are seeing a demolition job in the final.
This has been Neissat's on the receiving end of a pummeling which he's been giving out throughout this tournament. But yeah, credit to Dullenmike. It's been this second leg specifically has been so one-sided. It's crazy. It doesn't look like Neissat's gonna. Well, he hasn't really had any space to break through, and you can tell that he's sort of given up on it. The way he's playing, he's rushing his passes. But there is, in my opinion, it's impossible for Dullen to lose this game. Like, there's no way it's this over.
And what we're putting this down to, obviously, goals are going to fly in. He's team press. He's so far high up the pitch, but the game, he's not been on team press the entire 2 legs. Do you know what I mean? Like,
oh, of course, yeah.
He's never really looked. I don't want to disrespect Neissat because he had an unbelievable run, but as soon as Dullen got a couple of goals in front, it was one-way traffic. Let's just be honest. He never really looked like he was comfortable in the game playing against this 5-3-2.
Yeah, and that's a huge credit to Dullen because Neissat is phenomenal. He's been so good throughout the tournament. He's reached this stage. You mentioned the players that he beat to even reach here: Diogo, Olelito, EA-SPORTS, and the players as well who have also qualified here today in the broadcast. And to nullify his attack so much, we mentioned how many goals he scored in just a couple of games. It's crazy, and he's only scored 1 here. And in all honesty, it doesn't even look like he's going to score again the way Dullen's playing. It's crazy.
Yeah, look at his results. 7-1, he beat Bundle Colin. He then went on to beat Musty 9-4. He beat Optello 5-3. He's now on the receiving end of a 7-1 beating with still a full half of FIFA left to play. This could be double figures by the end of it. You see that ball just on the overlap there, Pele with the bridge touch.
Yeah.
But there seems to always be a white shirt available to pass to.
Exactly, he's wide open as well. It's crazy the way he's using his fullbacks as well, and the instructions that he's got on them, and the tactics and stuff. And it looks like it's going to be number 8.
Oh, he went for the bravura. Corner getting whipped in straight into the box. Ronaldo with a free header bounces back to Kessie inside the box. He's looking to get a brace. Recycles the ball onto the edge of the box, but Lena boots it out. 7-1 down at half-time. We've seen some unbelievable comebacks in our time at FIFA eSports, but I'm not sure if this one is going to be up there, in all honesty. Dullenmike, 7-1 leading at half-time in leg number 2.
It's over, as we said. It's done. It's done and dusted, no doubt about it. And it's a credit to Dullen, as we said, how well he's performed. Also a credit to Neissat as well. Of course, he's lost this game, well, as it stands, by quite a resounding margin. But as we said, to get this stage, he'll be proud of himself. And he's also gathered up a lot of points, a lot of prize money as well. And a good save there. Maybe that's something to take away. Good save from Neuer. But yeah, he would be upset, of course, and disappointed. But he should also find positives in his performance.
This is 2 weeks in a row where I've had the opportunity to commentate the Grand Final. Last week in South America, this week in Europe. Last week, PH Zin won 8-3 in the Grand Final against R10's Rampazzo. Now, Dullenmike is 7-1 up with 45 minutes left to play. I don't know what it is in these Grand Finals, but on both of those 2 occasions, it was the player coming through the winner's bracket who just dominated. Is it a fatigue, potentially? He's been playing for a long time this evening. It's hard to maintain such a high level if you're Neissat.
Of course it is. And it's also, need to remember that Dullenmike hasn't even dropped a game. Like, this guy's won every single game he's been in. He's unbeaten throughout this tournament. So there's a reason why he's in the upper bracket. Well, he was the upper bracket winner and he's in the Grand Finals. And as I said before the game, it would be a tough ask for Neissat to win one of them. And it goes to show that Dullen is on crazy form coming into it and also at this tournament itself.
You got to say, best player in Europe right now, Dullenmike. That ball.
Oh, no doubt.
I mean, not only what he's doing right now, but this is a statement. And I can already see what's going to happen, Ryan. I'm going to load up to play FUT Champions tomorrow, and I'm going to get up to about 21, 22 wins. And as soon as I start coming into that elite category, everyone's going to be playing 5-3-2. So thank you, Dullenmike.
It's typical. It's typical, but he's done so well. Like it's actually crazy. It's weird because we spoke about Neissat's attacking capabilities and the amount of chances he was creating. Like I remember against Musti, every time he attacked in that first leg, I genuinely felt like he was going to score every single one, and he's had nothing.
It's another Pele on the back post.
Yeah, Pele. Oh
Wow.
boy.
This is it's getting a little bit hard to watch right now. 8-1 up. Dullenmike looks to the skies, just rubbing his face right there. It's been an unbelievable run from Neissat. It's been a truly sort of miracle-esque run to win that many games in a row. 16 games in a row in the losers bracket to get to the grand final. 16. It could be a record high in the two sort of bracket format. It's,
oh my god! Oh god!
It is remarkable. Just your thoughts on Neissat's run in this tournament.
The run is superb, and people don't really, well, if the viewers anyway who haven't competed before in this year, maybe they're not verified, but it's so hard to reach the stage, and to do it through the loser bracket. I remember Gorilla's run in the first qualifier where he ran through, I think it was 10 games. He had to win 10 in a row from the loser bracket to qualify for the live broadcast because he lost early on in the winners bracket. And this is against 10 players who are foot verified today, and some players who have reached latter stages of tournaments before, so it's no easy feat to do that.
Oh!
No,
Dullenmike!
don't do it!
The
Dullen,
rainbow flick.
Please, Dullen.
the rainbow flare shot over the goalkeeper, and he's doing the celebration. Turn it off! Turn it off! Somebody turn it off, please.
I said it on Neissat's point of view, but honestly, I'm pausing it. I'm DMing him. Please, just keep the ball in the corner flag. Don't even score again. Keep the ball. It's over.
Dullenmike is putting on a show right now. Oh.
Oh god. That is crazy. It's actually, I have no words for that. That is, and he's still going through the attack. Come on, please let him live. It's over.
This isn't just a random champs game. This isn't, you're not just watching Dullenmike's champs. This is the grand final of the EU qualifier number 2. This man is 9-1 up, 10-1 up.
Don't score.
Come
on, please. Oh my god. Oh god.
Oh.
I feel for
the
Neissat,
game.
Man.
As soon as I go into the second leg, he had to attack the game. This could have happened. He could have turned this game around, and he could have got back into it. He just wants more. Dullenmike is a man who has no mercy. Surely not.
Oh my god. No. As I said, like 10-1, of course, sometimes the games get out of hand when you have to chase the game. Like, it happens. Like, if Neissat had just sat on his thumbs and just thought he'd play the same way and not push for it, it could have ended 5-1, whatever. It means nothing. You still lose. Like, at least he had to throw the kitchen sink. But, yeah, 10-1, it's crazy. It's a difficult one to take, I'll be honest. But, yeah, definitely. It's getting close to the Arsenal Bayern Munich Champions League scorelines back in the day. 10-2 across the legs.
Look, moments like this, you have to sort of say fair play to Neissat. And a lot of players, as soon as that goal concedes, probably just quit the game. But he swallowed his pride. Exactly. He knows that he's had an unbelievable run in this tournament. And maybe it was just one game too far. And he's still trying to attack. Rashford on that strike right there. He's still trying to get into the game, but he's running into an absolute beast right now.
Yeah, it's commendable. As you said, he's gone out trying to attack anyway, but Dullen's just literally picking him apart, and it's crazy because surely he has some. He's going to let him off. No, it's not.
No, reverse elastico past the goalkeeper. I just flipped off my chair. Dullenmike is crazy right now. To take a phrase, he was cracked on the sticks. He's just different levels to the rest of the competition right now in Europe. 86th minute. Neissat played. He won 7-1 first game of the day. He won 9-4 in the losers bracket semi-final. He beat Optello 5-3. He's beaten Diogo Mendes. He's beaten Oilito, Benny CR7, ex-Lenny. So many good players. He's losing 11-1. Kessie scoops over the goalkeeper. Even Kessie's enjoying himself.
Goodness.
This could be the biggest scoring deficit grand final we've ever had. Like, this is outrageous. You've basically just said me and Ryan. Can you remember when you used to watch Fanzone and you'd have the two fans in the commentary and they were just chatting? That's what we've just seen right there, because Dullenmike has put on an absolute clinic. 12-1. Yes, you heard me right. 12-1 as he goes to lift up his FUT Champions Cup that he won in FIFA 19. What a performance. 2-time European champion Ryan Pessoa. What a performance.
Incredible. Round of applause to Dullen and also to Neissat as well for reaching this stage. As I said, it's not easy. Like, finishing runner-up, you should take many positives from it. But Dullen, that was, yeah, oh my goodness. It was crazy. There was zero remorse, by the way. Like, sometimes when you're up in those games, like on FUT Champs, the guy's bringing out the goalkeeper. You just keep the ball. You just feel a bit bad. But, yeah, Dullen went. And what did it? I think it ended 11-1, 12. Yeah, 12-1 actually. 12-1.
He had 12 shots on target. Oh, in won 12-1 overall. But Ryan, we've had an absolute blast commentating these games. We've only had the chance to commentate over Dullenmike once, and he won 12 goals to 1. Just looking back at the tournament, he's got unbeaten this entire bracket. He has been the man to beat. A lot of people coming into the tournament said he is the best right now, playing in this 5-3-2.
Yeah.
Just a few words on Dullenmike.
Incredible player, incredible person as well. He's such a nice guy, and it's deserved. I said it before the tournament began, just prior to the tournament starting anyway, the last week or so. If you include that, the practice tournament, he's won every single one. He's been a part of Club World Cup as well. He's also been phenomenal for Neo and Gorilla's teammate as well for that tournament. And it goes to show again in this tournament today, he's won it resoundingly as well and deserved. So a huge congratulations to him.
And is this just a man who is got the perfect formation that he wants to play? The patch has suited him to a T, and also the confidence. Who's going to tell him that? Who's he ever going to go into a game and think, "Oh, this might be a tough game"? He just won 12-1 in a grand final. You put those three things together, you've got a concoction of a champion.
Yeah, exactly. And you mentioned the confidence. The confidence is a huge part of it, and Mino mentioned it too. But yeah, Dullen must be thriving on it. But as I say, congratulations to him, and also to all the competitors that did reach the top 6 as well.
Yeah, what a performance from Dullenmike. Myself, Richard Buckley, and Ryan will be back tomorrow to take you through the PlayStation side of the tournament with Brandon and Aga.